Well, hello everybody. Welcome. It is January 1st. This is the introduction to our 21 days of prayer and fasting that starts tomorrow. And we just want to give you a couple of things. Hope you have your book with you. There is an introduction section here. We want to talk a little bit about different types of fast and different things that we find in the Word of God, just to kind of give, I guess, an introduction, hence the reason why it's called an introduction anyway. So, you know, inevitably, anytime you call a corporate fast, there's lots of people that remember what Jesus says, but they don't remember a lot about other parts in the Bible where corporate fasts were called. Corporate fasts were always obviously very vocal. You see here every year on the Day of Atonement, or what was known as Yom Kippur, that was a corporate fast. They were to fast. That was an absolute fast. No water, no food, no anything for 24 hours there. And but you see multiple fasts in the Bible, and we're going to talk about different corporate fasts that you'll see in there. There's also individual fasts, and that's what Jesus is talking about when he says, don't, go around, displaying, hey, look how spiritual I am because I fast, type of thing. So we see this now. We are going into a corporate fast, so that's why we are doing this. This is a corporate fast to start the year that we are coming, I guess, together as a church globally and consecrating the year and trying, coming into unity as the body of Christ. And so that is where we're starting. You got anything you want to say to in this? I mean, we'll keep going through this, but talking about different things.
I think it's just important. The fast is almost always one of my favorite parts of the whole year. And it's not because any of us enjoy not eating the things that we desire, because that's like, the downside of it. But because I feel like it hones me in to be able to hear his voice more clearly. It makes the distractions become quieter that are all around me. And so it's just a really healthy way to start out the year seeking him, just like when you get up in the morning, the first thing that really biblically you should do is give him your time. That should be the first thing you do as the beginning of your day. It will make everything go better. It's the same deal with giving him the beginning of your year. It's just a small portion of our year that we can use to honor him, and in return, he brings us closer to be able to hear and operate in the ways that he desires more closely.
Yeah. And so it is important to remember that, you're right there?
Yeah.
It's important to remember that a fast without prayer is just a diet. This is 21 days of prayer and fasting, not 21 days of fasting, not 21 days of prayer. I don't really understand 21 days of prayer. The Bible tells us to pray without ceasing, but that's neither here nor there. And, I was talking to somebody, I've heard from several people that, and I'm talking older than us. We're in our prime, of course.
Right,
but
we're not old.
But people that are our parents' age and older than that, first time they're ever going to fast is this year. And other people who said, well, I've got this thing and I have to do this certain type of fast, but still wanting to participate, still wanting to be a part of it. So, it's figuring out what God has for you, but also knowing if there is, we talk about a medical condition here in this introduction, if you have one, believing that at the end of this fast, you won't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through that. Now, the flesh is going to rear its ugly head. Anytime you do something spiritual, the flesh, whether it's your own flesh or somebody else's own flesh, decides to rear its ugly head. It blows my mind that when a corporate fast is called, this is when people will get on social media posting pictures of their food.
Everything they eat. It's so wrong.
And honestly, as a mockery of it, of what, somebody's doing in consecration to God, and they're making a mockery of it. And any time that the flesh rears its ugly head, or the devil rears its ugly head, I go 2 times in the other direction. And the other one you'll really see is in giving, but we don't want to get into that. But so there's some different things that you can do. What happens, Julie? You are somebody I know has done a lot of research into foods and different things. And as a matter of fact, we were just talking about this recently, and she was talking about how she had eaten a certain food that everybody loves for the most part, and how it affected you.
It did.
Emotional, different in a different emotion. But, in here we talk about drinking lots of juices in place of food. And they're full of sugar, and they keep your appetite alive. You want to speak on that?
Well, yeah. A lot of times when people, especially if you're new to fasting, they think, well, I can just drink anything I want, which includes sodas and sugary coffees and juices and things like that. And although those things may give you a boost for a very short amount of time, they will also give you a super big plummet and make you feel pretty trashy after a short amount of time. And so that, although the first couple of days can be a little bit rough trying to push through, I'm telling you, if you will just push through and get off of the sugars and get off of the garbage that you've been putting in your system, your body will thank you for it. You will literally begin to feel better as you go. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but your body will start to align. You'll see that your aches and pains go away, that the things, the grogginess of not being able to wake up, when you're not eating a bunch of trash, you feel pretty alert in the morning as well.
Sure. And the flesh is going to rear its ugly head, your own flesh. Mm-hmm. Your stomach's going to tell you that what is wrong with you? You've cut my throat and I'm not getting anything.
It's true.
And the flesh is going to tell you to break the fast. But if the flesh rears its ugly head, you just tell it, shut up, or I'm going to continue the fast even longer than what I've already planned. And, you just put it in. So let's talk about here. We've got, I guess, technically 4 types of fast here, but one of them it is not for a 21-day fast. The full fast, that was Yom Kippur. You see Esther talk about that. I believe in Acts you see that was a very short period of time, because it's no food, no liquid, no nothing. It is a 100% full fast. Don't do that with this one. Now, I will say this. When the Bible talks about fasting, it is not talking about, obviously, TV, well,
social media,
or anything of that day. It actually means to shut your mouth, and it's not talking about shutting your mouth and not talking. It's talking about shutting your mouth and not putting food in it. There's actually, as you read things, I believe it was specifically in Jonah where it says, don't even bring something to your mouth. Don't even tempt yourself. So a biblical fast is to get rid of food one way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. And so there is the partial fast. Now, this is what majority of the people I would recommend for them. And there's different ways to do that. It is a time frame, such as sun up to sundown, but to make it easier, you could do 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The majority of people can do this. You don't eat anything from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then after 6 p.m., do not eat from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. But you can have a meal to eat and to get through that. And so that is what would be recommended. Now, a lot of times now, not on my 21 day to start the year, but Fasting is like weightlifting. You know, it's January 1st. A lot of people make New Year's resolutions, and, you know, it's like, let's say these 21 days of prayer and fasting is like exercise. If you think you can go to a gym or exercise for this 21 days and that'll suffice you for the rest of the year,
you're wrong.
It's wrong. It's the same thing with fasting. It is a spiritual muscle that needs to be built up. So there are multiple times throughout the year that we fast. And one of the fasts that I do quite often is I will do a 2-in-1. It's 2 days of fasting. So in this case, it's Sunday. The fast starts tomorrow on Monday. I will fast. I will drink liquids, but no food, Monday, Tuesday, and then I will eat something within moderation on Wednesday. I don't gorge myself. I'll have fruits, vegetables, and maybe some protein, and then again, go right back Thursday, Friday, nothing, you know, like that. And I will do that quite often. I do not do that with this one, but that is really what God really calls me to quite often throughout the rest of the year. And again, that's another partial fast. Then you have the regular fast. I don't, you know, I believe that as you grow in God and you want to get to new places, God calls you to different things. It's only really been in the last 3 to 4 years that God has asked me to do a regular fast once a year. And that is 21 days, and it's liquid only. And that is what I normally do to start the year, because there are things that we're believing for this year. And, you know, anytime we've gone in as we do tent revivals, we always, generally, almost always fast before going into those. So, and then there's the Daniel fast, and that is fruits and vegetables, though I have a hard time with that one, not saying it's wrong. We could live off fruits and vegetables. I don't want to, but we could. So anyway, that is that. And here is Isaiah 58, 6 through 14. You can read through that, see what God says. But let me just quickly give you a couple different things to end today of things you can see and expect when you fast. When Jesus, there were times where the disciples came to Jesus and said, "Why couldn't we do this?" And Jesus said, "This only comes through prayer and fasting." So Jesus wasn't fasting at that point, but there are times when the only answer is, you know, prayer and fasting is kind of like a preemptive thing. A lot of times when God calls me to fast, it's because of something that's coming. Not because of something that's already happened, but it's something that's coming. So in this case, Jesus had already prayed and fasted, and then this came along, and all he did was he already made a deposit, so he made the withdrawal, so to speak, for lack of a better words. And you see that there was a deliverance there. Ezra in the Bible called for a fast, and this was to release problem solving. So we see problem solving and protection in that. So you can, you know, if there's situations going on or you're in a job where this is where you could point this. Samuel fasted for more of the presence of God. Elijah was running from Jezebel, had some food. After he just called down fire from heaven, and now he's running for 40 days, and God delivers him of emotional instabilities and habits. You can fast, and God can free you of emotional instabilities and habits you've had in your life. Elijah also during the drought came to the woman and she was about to eat, her and her son, and instead he said, "Give me the food." Now, I don't know that I would categorize that as a fast, but if you go back and you read Isaiah 58, you will see that God can break lack in your life through fasting. Paul fasted. He was knocked off his high horse by Jesus, blinded for 3 days and 3 nights. He fasted, and he was fasting for physical healing. He was blind. He wanted to see, and also direction. John the Baptist, he was a man who had a fasting lifestyle. His lifestyle was that, and what that did was that enhanced his walk with God. So it's like we're talking about. It's not just one day or one time a year, 21 days of prayer and fasting. No, it's a fasted lifestyle, and that enhanced his walk. Esther, like I said before, was a full 3 days, but again, protection and deliverance. Jesus fasted for 4 days. He was then equipped with supernatural spiritual power, and he was given, shown dominion over the flesh, dominion over the devil, and dominion over temptation. Moses fasted for 80 days. He got direction. He got discipleship. God gave him keys to be discipled him and how to disciple a nation, and he got to peer into heaven through his fasting. He did. And then Jonah, you see that Jonah comes, he delivers a 3-word prophecy, and the entire town, they say, not only the humans go for a fast, but also the animals. And this was a 100% complete transformation. Yeah. It wasn't just fasting. He said, not only fast, but put away your violence, put away your evil deeds. And so, again, if you're going to fast and continue to sin, just go ahead and don't even fast. There's no sense in it. And so, ask yourself, what is your purpose for your fast? Elaborate on that. Write that down in the book. Say, this is what is your fast pointed at? I just gave you 11, well, actually more than 11, but scriptural references that are in the Word of God of what people fasted and what they experienced from that fast. And those are all yours. Healing, emotional things, breakthrough, all those things can come. Make a list of what you want to see God do, because as you're going to find out as we go through this, we will say multiple times in the different people we have on here, that as you go back and you look at this journal, what you'll see is that God answered these things, and it will build your faith.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody can fast something.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter whether you're actually joining us at the beginning of the fast, whether you're coming in the middle, maybe you're even joining us at the end. Just join. Be a part with us of this movement to purify ourselves before the Lord and just give him our best.
Yeah. And so this devotional we put together, you can go in here, you can write things God's speaking to you, put prayer requests in here, put additional notes that maybe God's speaking out of the Word to you, different things. There's questions you can ask yourself, but get ready. Don't gorge yourself at 11:55 tonight and then think you're just going to be good on the fast. You should have been somewhat preparing, but that's okay. But the fast starts tomorrow, January 2nd, runs through the 22nd. We're going to have these daily, and tomorrow, Pastor Paul Cooper will be on with me for day 1. I hope that you can join us each day, 9 o'clock. Until then, you got anything else?
No.
All right. That's our introduction. We love you. We'll see you next time.